Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the honourable member for giving me an opportunity to provide an update to this House on this very important program that I had probably informed this House early last year. Early last year, Mr. Speaker, we had announced that we were going to embark on developing and supply of organic fertilizer to our farmers. That particular intention and that particular program was announced for two particular reasons. One is, Mr. Speaker is to reduce the unit cost at the farm level. Speaker at the moment, farmers are applying enormous amount of fertilizer, which is raising the unit cost at farm level. Continuous application of fertilizer doesn't necessarily would contribute to increase in productivity at the rate that you would expect, because soil becomes acidic, and once the soil becomes acidic, then uptake of nutrients is affected. Now, about 4 or 5 decades ago, soil acidity was or used to be corrected, particularly in the sugar belt, through application of lime. But that activity also has kind of got subdued, and that's why you see sugar productivity also has been affected to some extent, because soil pH is quite high and it hasn't been neutralized. The second motivation for that particular announcement for development of organic fertilizer was from an environment point of view. Mr. Speaker, a lot of inorganic chemical fertilizer is being utilized throughout Fiji, and that is affecting not only human health but also environment. Most of these chemicals is very quickly finds its way to the groundwater table, and as you know, our drinking water is mostly derived from groundwater source. Mr. Speaker, imagine the households who are doing backyard gardening. You talk to them, one of the things they'll tell you is that they're buying the small quantities of fertilizer from the hardware shop, 2 kg urea, 3 kg NPK. Now you multiply that with the number of households and who are doing backyard gardening, and then the number of times, let's say 4 times in a year they will purchase, how much that will then add up to the volume of inorganic chemical fertilizer utilized by this sector alone, let alone the small, medium and commercial farmers. So Mr. Speaker, this project has been undertaken in 2 steps. Step 1 was we had developed, and we have just completed developing, a bacteria medium organic material known as lactic acid bacteria. There are certain bacteria which will enhance uptake of nutrient. The bacteria designated to enhance uptake of nitrogen nutrient. Certain bacteria designated to enhance uptake of phosphorus, and certain bacteria designated to enhance uptake of potassium. The 3 key nutrients that will affect plant growth, for rooting, for vegetation and fruit formation. Mr. Speaker, I'm quite honored to say that we have completed the first stage where we have developed this particular medium, which we can now, for example, give it to farmers, which they can put it on their field. Mr. Speaker, but we want to go to the second step, where we then develop a large volume of organic manure using poultry droppings as the base. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, our team from our agriculture office is now developing a piece of land, 10-acre land in Navua, where with Ministry of Agriculture, along with Ministry of Environment, will develop a composting site where the poultry manure will be dried up, and then this particular medium will be mixed. Mr. Speaker, the idea is to supply this to farmers, household sector, who will then develop their own compost and then take this material and mix it with the compost where the bacteria will multiply. So then they will have it for in that volume that they need and put it on their farm. Mr. Speaker, in that way, we will also be enhancing the developing of compost in individual farms, households as well. A lot of rubbish, a lot of green waste is now finding itself in the dump sites and landfills, which really should be converted into a compost which can then be utilized in gardens and farms, and therefore nutrient can be recycled. Mr. Speaker, this project has also received blessing from Honourable Minister for Trade, Industry and Trade, Honourable Khoya. He is also very keen and a very ardent supporter of promoting and the Fiji-made logo with organic stamp, organic certification, and we are now also partnering with Honourable Khoya in this particular project to ensure that we brand and differentiate our product, Mr. Speaker, so that our product can end up in a differentiated market where the returns will be much, much higher. So, Mr. Speaker, we'll be launching the first part soon, this particular medium, and we will give out to farmers who already have established compost in their farm. But once we have this larger scale, we're looking at, on a daily basis, we will be receiving on a daily basis 40 tons of poultry manure, which will be dried. It will take about 8 weeks for it to turn into compost, and then mixed with the bacteria medium that we have, and then it will be then packed in 2 kg, 10 kg, 20 bags and given out to farmers in centralized locations where they will come and pick it up. So, Mr. Speaker, in the longer run, we will end up reducing the volume of inorganic chemical fertilizers that we're importing, a major contribution in terms of saving our foreign currency. Number two, we will reduce the application of chemical fertilizer in Fiji's agriculture sector. And number three, we will contribute to a better health for farmers, consumers who are using vegetable products which are grown using supported by chemicals. So, Mr. Speaker, we will also be reducing the unit cost, where at the farm level, fertilizer is becoming a significant cost of production. Thank you.